The man known as Ethan Cole was no ghost, though sometimes he wished he were. Once a decorated Air Force combat pilot, call sign Viper 1, he had vanished from duty after a classified mission in Afghanistan went horribly wrong. His plane went down, his crew presumed dead, and official records listed him as Kia. But Ethan survived, barely. He was rescued by locals, spent months hiding, broken, until he made it back home. By the time he did, his wife had remarried, believing him gone forever. His little son didn't even remember his face. So Ethan did what broken men do, he disappeared into ordinary life. He settled in a small town, raising his now teenage son Liam, working construction, never speaking of the war. Every scar on his body was a reminder, but none hurt like the silence between him and the world. That night at the bar, the SEAL's reaction stirred something buried deep in him. The SEAL introduced himself as Chief Logan Reeves, a younger man who had joined the Navy inspired by the stories of Viper 1, the fearless pilot who saved countless soldiers from ambush by covering extraction zones under fire. "You were my hero," Logan said, eyes wide with disbelief. "You're the reason I enlisted." Ethan just stared, ashamed. "Heroes don't hide, son." But Logan shook his head. "No, heroes survive. Maybe there's a reason you're still here." Over the next few weeks, Logan kept visiting. He brought stories, news of fallen comrades, and slowly chipped away at Ethan's walls. One night, Logan mentioned a current mission, an extraction team caught in the same valley where Ethan's plane had gone down years ago. The terrain, the winds, it was suicide for any pilot. Ethan's heart clenched. "Don't fly that valley," he warned. "It eats aircraft for breakfast." But Logan just smiled. "Then maybe we could use the guy who survived it." That night, Ethan couldn't sleep. The past he'd buried came clawing back, the screams, the fire, the guilt. And a decision began to form. 3 days later, the base was buzzing. A mission had gone wrong, again. The SEAL team was trapped behind enemy lines. The weather was too brutal for rescue helicopters, and every pilot was calling it impossible. Ethan showed up at the gate in an old flight jacket, hair gray at the temples, eyes blazing. "I can fly that storm," he said. The young officer laughed. "Sir, who the hell are you?" Ethan smiled faintly. "Viper 1. The room went dead silent. Then someone whispered, "That's not possible." But when the engines roared to life, and Ethan gripped the stick once again, it was like time rewound. Every instinct returned, the precision, the calm, the fire. As the storm tore at the wings, he remembered the voices of his lost crew, his brothers who never made it home. And this time, he swore no one else would be left behind. Hours later, battered but alive, the helicopter landed with the SEALs safe aboard, including Logan. When the ramp opened, Logan stumbled out, eyes wide with awe and tears. "You really came back for us," he said. Ethan grinned weakly. "No man left behind, right?" Moments later, Ethan collapsed, the stress too much for his old injuries. He woke in a hospital, surrounded by the SEALs and his son, Liam, who had been watching everything unfold on live feeds. Liam grasped his father's hand, eyes wet. "Dad, why didn't you ever tell me?" Ethan smiled faintly. "Because heroes aren't meant to be remembered for war, son, but for what they do when it's over." Blending with soft country music. A few veterans were gathered after a long Memorial Day event, trading war stories that time had turned into legends. Then it happened. A tall Navy SEAL, still in partial uniform, turned to the quiet man sitting alone at the counter. "Hey, old-timer," he said with a friendly grin. "You ever serve?" The man nodded slowly, his hand trembling slightly as he lifted his glass. "Yeah, long time ago." The SEAL smiled. "What was your call sign?" The man hesitated. The entire bar seemed